Welcome back to the Tree Surgeons podcast. Now, it's been a while since I've put an episode out and I've been really busy. My tree surgery business, HRG Tree Surgeons, has had the most exceptional year that we've ever had. And we've moved our profit margin from 20% net profit up to 33%. So things are really improving. But what that's meant is I've just had to put a little bit more into the art business, and not too much has been happening with this podcast. But I am back today with an episode, and we're going to start being able to produce some more of these episodes now because we've got over the hump, and I will be looking for more people to come on this podcast. So if you have a story that you'd like to share that you think is of value to the interest, if you've got a product, if you've got a service, something that helps improve the industry, because I'm all about efficiency, improving the industry, looking at things slightly different of, yes, we used to do things like this, but this is how we're doing things now. Innovation, efficiency, moving forward. So if any of that ticks a box, if you're listening to this now, just drop me a message on whatever platform you're on and I'll get back to you. One of the team will get back to you and we'll get it booked in, ideally coming down to our training centre down here in Southampton. So what am I talking about today? Today, I'm talking about planning. I'm talking about a little bit about my tree surgery business, talking a little bit about the mastermind, but planning. Now, to most people, planning sounds really boring. But when we're growing a tree surgery business, all the way from you being a one-man band up to running multiple teams, there needs to be some sort of plan. If you get stuck in your business, or you're stuck now and you've not progressed for a year, 2 years, 3 years, then you've got to ask yourself why. And quite often it's because we're not really sure where we're going and we don't have an end in mind. And the whole point of having a plan is starting with the end in mind. What do you want out of your business? And one of the things that I love most about business in general is that you're not having to be in a 9-to-5. Business is the kind of thing that you can start. Yes, it's going to be really hard. You're going to have lots of knockbacks. It's going to be graft. It's going to have to get out your comfort zone. You're going to have to put yourself in some really difficult positions. But once you get that aeroplane off the ground, that business off the ground, you can then get yourself in a position where you can choose how you want your business. There isn't a right or wrong. There's lots of wrong in business, but there isn't a right or wrong about how you do things. And the most important thing is that you have a business that works for you, not one that you're working for, because then it's just a really underpaid job. Because actually, as you guys probably know, listening to this, a lot of you, you're probably working evenings, weekends, getting up early in the morning. And actually, when you really work out how much you're being paid, it's probably not as much as you at first expected. But that aside, once you get your business to a point where you could make those decisions and be able to earn the money you want, I can almost guarantee that all comes and starts from a plan. And starting with the end in mind means that you can then fall back now and start working out what you have to do today, tomorrow, the next week, and in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, and in a year's time, to be able to just get a bit of traction to be able to move from there. So if you are stuck, feel like you're stuck in your business right now, if you feel like that maybe you've not progressed how you want, or you're working too much, you're not paying yourself enough, my question first would be, do you have a plan? And that plan, it doesn't have to be an extensive 20-page planning document like we use on the mastermind and for my 3-day business course. It could just be on the back of a packet, or it could be on your notes on your phone that you've just written a few targets. By the time I'm 30, I want to be X. By the time I'm 35, I want to have this many teams. By the time I'm 40, I want to be working 20 hours a week. Like, even if it's as simple as that, there are some goals there that you can work towards, and you can start then putting the jigsaw puzzle together to be able to get you there. But if you're just going out every day and working and hoping for the best, then you'll probably find that it's quite chaotic. You'll probably find that your team feel like it's quite chaotic because nobody really knows where they're going or what we're aiming for. And then what do you do when you think about default mode? And for me, default mode is when you're sat and you are on the toilet, or you're scrolling through social media, or you're sat in a queue, or you just get to your office and you've got a half an hour. What do you do in that half an hour? Do you just go and scroll through social media and look at cool videos of tree work? Or do you go to a plan and go, right, I need to make some sales calls, or I need to do a marketing email, or I need to go and put an advert out for some more staff, or I need to work on my numbers to work out what my net profit margin is to see whether I can improve that. And quite often what we do as humans, and trust me, I've been here and I do this and I still do this now, is I'll get half hour spare, I'll sit in the office and suddenly I'll get my phone out to go and message someone, and before I know it, I'm doom scrolling through social media, looking at cool videos, and suddenly that half an hour's gone. And one of the things that we have in life and we're limited for is time. Like, it isn't infinite. Like, it is in this planet, but it's not for us. We have limited time to be able to make impact in a day. So then the next week we have a better week than the following week, and the next month, the next year, etc. And then you suddenly start feeling like you're getting somewhere. And that all comes with a plan. Like, business planning seems like it's really boring. Like, For me, I'm ADHD as fuck. I have no focus. I'm constantly spinning a million plates, and structure and planning sounds really boring. But actually, as soon as I started planning, like the reason why we've had such a good year this year is because I put a plan in place last year of the things I wanted to do this year and the kind of work I wanted to get and the kind of clients I was going to find and the projects that I wanted to win. And what that then gave me is the strategy to be able to then go and find these clients and be able to go and work with them. And that is why we've had such a good year. I've been able to build a good team. We've added a few good additions to our team. We've been able to start using a lot more kit. We're a lot more mechanized kit that we're hiring in from Excel Forestry. We've been also using a Magni, and all of this was part of our plan at the beginning of the year. So I've been working off that plan, and that's why I know it works. When I used to work with my mentor and coach 5-6 years ago, when I first started having a mentor and we started talking about planning, I just used to sit there with ants in my pants thinking, this is really fucking boring. I just want to go and work. I just want to go and crack on and know what I do. But do you know what, as business owners, the easy thing is to continue working on the tools. Because actually it's hard work, but we've been doing it for years and it's quite simple. When people talk about hard work in business, they think that hard work is working from 5 a.m. till 10 at night or to 8 at night. Actually, the hard work comes and doing the things that actually maybe we not feel that comfortable with. Sales and marketing, working on numbers, working on business planning. Like I failed all my GCSEs at school. I am not academic at all. I'm not number orientated. I find it easier to go and graft. But actually when I start working on all these different things, my own performance, sales and marketing, financial numbers, all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that we teach on the 3-day business course that we deliver, we run a planning document through. That is the thing that actually is the hard work, working on that, because it's alien to me and it's probably alien to a lot of you. Like a lot of you would probably, I'm just generalizing, but I know most people in this industry, they've left school, they've gone straight into ARB, and we know how to do the job. Like we know how to do it. That's easy. It's hard, but it's simple. We know how to do it. We know how to go and fell a tree, climb a tree, go and do hedge cutting, whatever it is that you're doing in your business. But the harder stuff is working on the planning. Now, if you've got a business plan, it gives you clarity. Not only does it give you clarity, but you can communicate that with your team. You want your team to be effective. You want them to be more efficient. Tell them where you're going. Like, we want to be here in 5 years. This is where we want to go. This is the kit we want to have. Then you can start working on what you need to do on a weekly basis. Right, I need to come off the tools for a day a week. When you come off the tools, that doesn't mean you're going to go and sit in the office. Actually doing admin work isn't the best use of your time. But what do I need to do? I need to find an admin person because that's going to be the best use of their time. What do I need to do? I want to grow my business. Right, I need to be making sure what's my profit margin? What's my sales strategy? Who am I speaking to? Am I on LinkedIn? What sort of ads am I targeting? And this all comes back to a business plan that you can work on and you can use and you can look at. And it all comes down to planning. Now, I know probably some of you listening to this thinking, fuck me, that sounds boring as fuck. But my question back to you is, are you stuck? Would you like to go further? We are doing a business planning workshop in a couple of weeks. I think it's on the 2nd of December at 6:00 in the evening. I'm going to put a link in this podcast episode so you can then register. We're going to give you a way for turning up. We're going to give you our business planning document that we use in the mastermind and the academy. And we're going to do about an hour and a half talk. And I'm going to run you through a quick whistle-stop tour of how to do a business plan. And a business plan takes days to do, by the way. You're not going to suddenly have it written in that hour and a half session, just for complete clarity. But what you will have is some information from me to be able to tell you how I plan my years out, how I've now got a tree surgery business where we've got 6 teams running. We've got a couple of surveyors that go out. We've got a watering team, a planting team, and we go out and do some really great commercial artwork. We don't work for everybody. We only work for select clients that want to pay the fees because we don't work for cheap. But that's all come from me working on my business and working on a plan, working on myself, on my own personal performance, on how I turn up every day, how I lead my team. As I say, I failed everything at school. Like, learning and academic stuff's not for me, but learning about business, like, a lot of people think you've got to be an amazing tree surgeon to be able to run a good tree surgery business. In fact, it's the other way around. Anybody can run a tree surgery business. And I know I'll get lots of comments for that. And that's controversial, because if you know how to run a business, anybody could run a tree surgery business. Because once you know the business, you could get a very good tree surgeon to come and work for you. You could get a very good surveyor to come and work for you. But if you know how to run a business, then you'll be able to grow a business that you want. Like, you've got to get it out your head that you think you've got to be an amazing tree surgeon. Yes, that will definitely help you. I'm not saying to not bother becoming a good tree surgeon, but you also need to become a really good business owner and learn about business. And I left school, failed all my GCSEs, as I say, and I didn't actually pick up or read a book until about 6 years ago because I wasn't interested in anything else. Then when I picked up books and started learning about business and listening to business podcasts, I was like, the penny dropped. I went, fuck. Like, it's been really hard now, but I'm now in a really fortunate position where I've got this great business that's doing really well for me. It pays me a very good salary, and my wife, I get to do the school run pretty much 90% of the time. I get to spend lots of time with my kids. I'm not stressing and working in the evenings and working weekends. That is all because I've put plans together to be able to have that. And that's what I want to really help and support the ARB industry with. I've been part of the industry since I was 20 years old. I've seen so many different changes in it. I've also seen the very negative fixed mindset that comes from a lot of tree surgeons. But I can tell you, you've got to get out of that mindset. Then you've got to get out the negative beliefs that there's no money in tree work. You've got to get out the negative beliefs that mummy and daddy bought all his kit so it's easy for him, or he's giving that person backhanded so it's easy for him. It's not easy for anybody. It's hard. Like, it's hard to run a business. I've tried over the last 5 years to run 3 or 4 other businesses, a couple of them that we've put to bed now, because one thing I realized is business is just hard in general. Like, yes, when we did our service accommodation Airbnb business, it was easier than running 47 tree surgeons like we used to. But then you've got, that's a challenge for a tree surgery industry. But suddenly now we're dealing with guests and tenants and landlords and other people. So you just got a different set of problems. But the more that you can work on your own performance, the more that you can plan, the more that you can be able to communicate that to a team and grow a team around you. So you are working on your business and your business works for you and you don't work for it. The more that you're going to have success and the more happy you're going to be. And that's what I want to help the tree surgery industry for. That's why I run a tree surgery business and I run the mastermind and I run tree surgery business courses. I don't need to run those courses. I don't need to run the mastermind. It is a side hustle. But I'm very passionate about being able to help other people. And we've already helped. We've got 48 people on our mastermind in our group on various different levels. We've had over 100 people come through. We've never had one negative feedback or review. If you look us up, we've got a Google review. You can see all our reviews, but we always get great feedback. And I can honestly say, after running this for 3.5 years, the product and the service has never been better. And that's because I've just continuously honed it and kept going. So if you want to register for that, it's in the link below. Click on it, register it. You will then get sent the business planning document, and then you'll be able to listen to me for 90 minutes or so. There'll be a Q&A at the end. You can ask me literally anything. If you've ever met me, you know that I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I'm transparent and honest, so you can just literally ask me anything you want, and my opinion on the industry, anything else like that. So I look forward to seeing you there, and have a great week. And remember, even if it's on the back of a fag packet, on a notes on your phone, start writing your targets or goals of where you want to go, because I can tell you now, if you start doing that, you'll suddenly start seeing how you can piece it together and create the business that you want. Take care all.